Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Sagittarius energy, and like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Sagittarius energy. The bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy Sagittarius energy. For some people, it could be a struggle going on within yourself, and even if we do move forward in high vibe energy, we've always got our more worldly nature, and we can struggle with it. But some people are struggling within themselves and living their life one way or the other. But other people are moving forward in high vibe energy, and there might be some people in their life or in their world that aren't moving forward in that way. The truth sets us free to live our life differently. High vibe Sagittarius is about being inspired to heal and grow and mature yourself, and to free yourself from the things that manipulate you in the world. Your fear, your insecurity, your pride, your ego, your more immature, indulgent, worldly, immature nature, right? And some people have learned those lessons and are more free from some of those things than some other people, because we all learn lessons at different times. And more worldly, shadowy energy could be people who are more inspired by the world, maybe not inspired by love. Maybe more about themselves, more about ego and image and money or indulgence. And shadowy people just try to manipulate people to get them to do what they want in a relationship. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story, and listen to your intuition about where other people you might know might be in the story. How we all tap into Sagittarius energy. What drives and motivates people? Is it truth and love and justice and fairness and character and integrity and treating other people the way they like to be treated? Or are some people still got some lessons to learn and maybe still a little bit more about themselves or the world? High vibe energy, the reason for the reading is the appreciation card, which makes me think of the Nine of Pentacles card, which is people in high vibe harnessing high vibe Virgo energy, where they're inspired to deal with the truth. In our Virgo energy, we go within to see the truth, to free ourselves from the things that were manipulating us. And high vibe people are motivated to do that. I don't want to carry around my same fears and insecurities that I might have had for the last 3 or 5 years. I like to put in work and effort to release those, work through them, deal with the truth of them, put them in perspective so I can let them go. Heal from past pain and heartbreak. And it's also the reason why the reading came out. You either previously could have been more aligned with your worldly nature, looking to things outside of yourself, thinking those things were the answer to freeing you, making you feel more emotionally fulfilled or stable or grounded, loved. High vibe people realize it starts within themselves. And you also could have dealt with some people that were more aligned with their worldly nature, a more worldly Virgo energy and worldly Sagittarius energy. I'm more motivated by the things of the world. I want to go indulge in these things. That's what I think will make me happy. Or I think it's more about ego and image and status. And if I have those things, I think I'll be happy. But high vibe people, we come in contact with all these different people to help us get clear about our truth. And some people came into contact with some people, and in a lot of ways, they could have seemed to have a lot in common, similar backgrounds, similar life experiences, similar views on life in a lot of ways. But at a core foundational level, kind of what our long-term objective is and what drives and motivates us, one could be the world, the other one could be truth and love, growing and healing and maturing themselves. And some people are like, I'm good. I'm fine living my life the way it is. I don't want to deal with things I might keep hidden in the dark. I want them to stay in the dark. And then we just need to see the truth of that. So we don't kind of keep staying in more mismatched relationships. Let's go look at the bottom row. The reason for the bottom row's reading is the woman holding heart. To me, this looks like a man dressed like a lady, which, as we go through life, hopefully we become more aligned with our truth. And the truth is, we do have our more worldly egoic nature, which is represented by the masculine figures in tarot. But because we can all present ourselves in the world whatever way we want, but emotionally, how do we really think and feel? Represented by the feminine figures. When we're balanced within ourselves, we are balanced between our worldly egoic nature is an authentic reflection of who we are internally, emotionally. So as we keep growing and maturing ourselves throughout our life, we are a blend of both. And hopefully we become, again, who we present ourselves in the world to be is who we authentically are. And as some people went through a life experience, they came to being more balanced within themselves, and then they came up here to move forward in life differently. But we could have been in relationships with some people where they're still operating from their more egoic nature, but trying to create an illusion that they're more connected in emotionally than they are. Like trying to create the illusion that, oh no, I want to do love. Get in a relationship with me. I'll bring that dream into reality. But then we get in a relationship with them and we find out that's not the truth of their foundation. They were just trying to create an illusion. High vibe energy is being truthful and authentic. Shadowy energy is trying to confuse people about the truth of who you really are. So let's go look at the bottom row. The second chakra, which can mean that we want to work together with other people in a relationship. Financial constraints, door to value, angel of love, first chakra, which is our base foundation kind of maybe how we operate in the world. What foundational principles do we operate from? Some people still have work to do on their core foundational level because maybe they haven't picked a path. We have our dualistic nature. Are we going to, who's going to be like in the driver's seat of our life? Our more hopeful, believing nature, or our more self-interested nature, our ego nature, our worldly nature, our materialistic nature, our indulgent nature? More about ourself than really working cooperatively, having hope and faith and belief and love, treating other people the way we like to be treated. Sometimes there's some people in the world that at a core foundational level, maybe they're still going back and forth and they haven't picked a path. Because we have our dualistic nature, some people have picked a path. There's other people that are still going back and forth and they haven't decided what path really am I going to build my life upon? What is my truth? And some people have already decided this is my truth. It is more about me or the world or my ego or my image. But I want to be in a relationship with people who might be at the next level of life. They're more giving or loving or nurturing or, and I want to be in a relationship with someone like that. Sometimes these people that do operate from their more worldly egoic nature prey on people who have learned more lessons than them, so they are maybe more mature, more giving, more nurturing, more tempered and balanced within themselves. And they prey on those people who might feel left out in the cold. Like they had to detach from one foundation to go get in a new foundation. And sometimes other people, it's like, I want to be in a relationship. I know, I have an idea. I'll present myself as a loving person, kind of trying to cloak the fact that emotionally, I really operate more from my worldly nature. We have a different core foundational view of life. I could feel left out in the cold. You could feel left out in the cold. Let's get in a relationship. And for both people, for the door to value, it can seem like a great opportunity. But then we get in these relationships, and as time goes by, we could start to realize that we operate from different foundations. What drives and motivates us is different. How we view life is different. How we view the people we get in relationships is different. One person could like to stay in the relationship because they do have a lack mentality, which can be more codependent, which we've all been there. I haven't learned to love and believe in myself. And I think the hardest lesson to learn is to love and believe in yourself. You can be a very loving person, but you can give to people and get in relationships with people who kind of aren't on the same page as you. And, it's good to be loving and supportive and encouraging to everyone in the world. Love is what helps heal people and encourages them to maybe love and believe in themselves. But sometimes we get in relationships with people and we're kind of operate from two different foundations. Our view of how we plan to work together is different. We can want to be in a relationship initially because, there's some spark there, there's commonality, there's some common interest. Let's move forward together. It can seem very abundant for both of us. But then as time goes by, one person is expecting people to detach from old ways of viewing life in a way, or the past, or some fears, or some insecurities, to kind of grow and heal and mature themselves and operate from a foundation of love. And the other person can be like, no, my idea of working together with people in my philosophy of life, because the financial constraint card reminds me of the Five of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy, which has to do with our philosophy of life. I thought we were going to work together more from this worldly perspective, to work together to look very successful and victorious in the world. And I thought we both were kind of operating a little bit more from our worldly egoic nature of ego or image or status or want to be in a relationship. And I thought we were going to move forward like that forever. Well, if you get in a mismatched relationship, everybody might initially want to be in the relationship, but how they plan to move forward long term can be different. High vibe people want to be more independent of the world and their ego and these things that manipulate them. And they can get in relationships with other people where it's like, I don't plan to become independent of any of that. That is how I view life. And I thought you viewed life the same way I did. And it can cause a problem in a relationship, because part of life-giving energy and growing and maturing and healing yourself is that you do change and mature and heal over time. And you let go of some more immature ways of viewing life, and you just heal and grow and mature yourself. And some people are like, I'm good. Whatever way it was that I happened to be at this stage of life, I might be happy living my life a certain way for the next 30 or 60 years. It kind of makes me think of when I was in high school, and hanging out with people and partying or whatever. And people would be like, oh, I can't wait till I have kids, and then I want to do this with my kids and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? I kind of thought this was just like a phase of life. I don't plan to be living this same type of life by the time I'm a parent and have adult children and hanging out with my children, acting like I'm a 18-year-old when I'm 40 with my 18-year-old kids, And some people and some of those people who I know said things like that, really are kind of still living like an 18 or 21-year-old. Never face their fears. That's high vibe energy, where it's like it's time to face my fears about kind of growing to my full potential. And that means I have to detach from more childish ways of viewing life, living life, how I perceive relationships and how I act in relationships to grow and mature myself. to be a different person 5 years from now than I was 5 years ago. And there's some people that they're the exact same person. They haven't expanded their perception of life or how they view themselves or how they view the world, how they view relationships. The same way they viewed it when they were 18 is the same way they view life now. And other people kind of view life differently as they go through these stages of life. At 18, I'm different than 15. At 21, I'm different than 18. At 25, I'm different than 21. But some people get to a certain phase of life and they're like, I'm good. I got a job. I can be in a relationship. That's all I want. And that's okay. They can live their life whatever way they want. And they could be people who don't want to face their fears or be more independent in the world or challenge themselves to become all they could be. I'm happy living life like this. And we get in relationships with people like that and we can love them. But it's kind of like what drives and motivates me and what I aspire to grow and mature myself to my full potential. I'm inspired in my Sagittarius energy to even want to do that. And other people could reject that. I have no interest in living my life like that. I'm good like this. And it's just to see the truth of it. And if we keep moving forward with them, we could feel like, just in the Five of Pentacles, the maximum is like the Ten of Pentacles. This is like the Nine of Pentacles. I could live my life like this, but I'd feel like I maybe didn't challenge myself to become all I could be. That I didn't kind of grow into my authentic self because I chose to stay in my comfort zone. And we could end up feeling like, I feel like I might be feeling in lack that I didn't use my unique talent, skills, and interest, and my creativity, and my imagination, and my intellect, or my skills to their best use. It's like being given talents that you didn't pursue. And you were someone who had maybe unique talent, skills, and interests, whether that's in math or science or astronomy or bugs or who knows what it is, But I didn't kind of grow myself to my full potential. And so some people were living their life, hanging out with certain people, living their life, and they were kind of inspired to, I want to move forward in life differently. I want to love myself, believe in myself, feel more balanced within myself, because shadowy energy, when we resist listening to our intuition and kind of facing our fears, it kind of tips us more and more out of balance. And we can feel like, there's nothing to learn here anymore. It's like staying in a job, like an entry-level job, when you feel like you're capable of more. Like, I've learned that skill level at that entry-level job. And I am motivated to go to the next job and take on responsibility and advance in my career. And we can know other people that are like, why? What? No. And they like staying at that entry-level job. And we all do what makes us feel happy living our life, what makes us probably feel balanced within ourselves. And we just see the truth of it, that everybody is driven and motivated by different things. Some people are motivated and inspired to face their fears and be more independent and look at life as an adventure to be lived. That's high vibe Sagittarius. And other people are like, that would require me to kind of wrap my brain around this game of life and be more independent and face my fears and deal with some of the things I keep hidden in the dark. No, I don't want to deal with them. And they're happy living their life like this. So we could realize that what drives and motivates us is different, even though we can have love for them. We can love people in our family, our siblings, our parents. And yeah, what drives and motivates them and how they want to live their life is different than how we want to live our life. But we wish everybody peace, love, and joy to go live their life the way they want to go live it. And I'm going to go live my life the way I want to live it. And we'll see you at Christmas. So, let's go look at the top row. Some people realized that the way they were living their life, or the people they were aligning with in their world, that it was it might have had a lot of good things about it, and there could be love there, but I just don't feel like shadowy energy can be where we feel restricted or confined or oppressed or limited or controlled or manipulated or imprisoned. Kind of more about conforming to the world, a certain way of viewing life. And it's like, I want to be free to live my authentic life, to shine my own light in the world, to go on this adventure. I am willing to go out there and realize that everything I go pursue might not work out the way I want, but life is about learning lessons, and I want to feel like I did go on an adventure, that I did face my fears. So, I don't want my egoic worldly nature or my fear or my insecurity or my more loving nature to be what dictates my life, because there is more to us than just our loving nature, and there's more to life than just our mind, and there's more to life than just our ego, our image, or how much money we have. It's about respecting all aspects of ourselves in balance. And what some people could be trying to learn a lesson about, let's see, what's the opposite of Sagittarius? Oh, it's Gemini energy. And Gemini energy is this dualistic nature of what we're going to align with. And we kind of go off out onto the edge of all these different things to learn lessons. Oh my gosh, my heart was running my life. And the other aspects of my life kind of went in the toilet because I made those less important, because the most important thing was my heart, And I love that person, or I love those things, and I love indulging in those things. And it throws our life out of balance. Shadowy energy, it tips us out of balance. And when we see the truth of it, that I have these other aspects to me, my heart, my mind, my creative nature, my passionate nature, my loving nature, my worldly nature, my hopes, my dreams. I need to take all these things into consideration. And some people felt like they were getting too far tipped over balance, indulging themselves emotionally, and maybe indulging other people emotionally, and maybe feeling that people were trying to manipulate your loving nature to stay in something that was kind of imbalanced. Just like your own shadow nature can try to manipulate you. You do have fears and insecurities. We do have our lack mentality. It's part of being a human being. And our shadow nature tries to convince us that if we keep moving forward in our defensive nature, in our immature nature, our indulgent nature, our defensive nature, our prideful nature, that this will work out the way we want. And it's basically our shadow nature trying to be in the driver's seat of the foundation of our life and the decisions that we make. And we realize it keeps me being in my fear, in my insecurity, in my pride and ego, in my immature nature. I don't want my shadow nature running my life. And when I'm living my life like that, I probably have people in my life that I'm aligning with that are happy that I live my life that way. Because they like me living my life that way, because then I'll keep moving forward in a relationship with them, or working for them, or being their friend. But I feel limited, restricted, confined, oppressed, or imprisoned in some way. It might have all these things of the world, the ego, the image, the things that we like to indulge in, but I think it's stifling me from growing to my full potential. And I might need to cut some of those things out if it's stopping me from growing to my full potential, or cut some of those people out, or cut some of those habits out. So we have the storm warning, which is like a tower card, and the deceit card, which is like the devil card. Why am I not moving forward in life? More bold, more brave, more confident, more balanced, more loving and hopeful and believing in myself? Why am I not facing my fears and insecurities? Why am I not stepping outside my comfort zone? And they offered love to it. And they took action in love to do this work within themselves, to get to the truth of what that shadowy energy was that was stopping them from moving forward, being more free to live their authentic life. And then we have the strategy card, which is like the Ace of Swords. Virgo energy goes within, and we all tap in our Virgo energy to see the truth, if we're motivated to see the truth. And some high vibe people were motivated to see the truth. I don't want these things to keep manipulating me. I want to deal with the truth. And then we have the healer of the ages. I want to heal. I want to be more independent. I want to be free to live my authentic life. I don't want my fear and my insecurity and maybe the love that I have for people, if I feel like they're not working together with me in a just and fair and authentic and loving way, where they respect my independence. People are supposed to be independent. We come together in relationships and we overlap, and that overlap area is like the common goal. But we respect that each person is their own individual person. You have your own unique talent, skills, and interests and things that you enjoy doing that are different than my unique talent, skills, and interests and things I enjoy doing. But do we want to work together for a common goal and respect that we're both individuals? Some people don't. The devil can be greedy and selfish, and that can be shadowy energy where I want the scales kind of tip more in my favor, where maybe it should be more about me. I want you to maybe pay more attention to me. You're a very loving, giving, nurturing person. I don't love and believe in myself or feel very confident within myself. And I get in relationships with people for them to give to me to make me feel more stable and grounded and abundant. But if they don't do this work within themselves, they're always codependent on you to fill their cup. It's like, well, I gave you love and encouragement yesterday. What did you do with it? Oh, I just sucked it all up and I want more. It's like, well, did you do this work within yourself to love and believe in yourself, to appreciate yourself and what you bring to the table and offer yourself love and compassion and forgiveness so you can be an independent person? Oh, well, no, I don't want to be in that type of relationship. I just want people to give to me. So people kind of like an unevenly balanced relationship. You give, I take. And that's how some people view relationships. And they think that's just and fair. If I present myself as loving to you, and when we go out in the world, I present myself as this loving family person, isn't that good? Isn't that what you wanted? Well, I could like that. But I also want someone who does this work within themselves to heal on a core foundational level, to see the truth of the things that manipulate them so they can be free of those things, to be independent of those things, so that we can work together in a more just, fair, healed, authentic, loving relationship. And there's some people that are like, no. No, I just like to present myself as being like you, so you will get in a relationship with me. And then that's how we're supposed to do the relationship. Stay right here, do this. It's like, so we never deal with the truth. we quit healing, growing, maturing ourselves. Whatever issues you came into the relationship with, you want to keep those buried beneath the surface and not deal with them. Well, if I'm growing and healing and maturing myself, I keep changing. And if I free myself from some of the things that used to manipulate me, but those things still manipulate you, well, then I'm in a relationship with someone who's manipulated by something. And just by being in a relationship, that ends up being like a third party in the relationship. Because I'm trying to free myself to align with hope and faith and belief and love. And you're still aligning with your fear or your insecurity or your pride or your ego or your immature, bossy, controlling, whatever issue they got that they're not willing to let go of. Some people view themselves as loving people. And you can get in relationships with them and they can seem very loving and nurturing, but they only want to be in relationships with other people who feel left out in the cold. I want you to basically not know your worth and value. I don't want you to heal and grow and mature yourself. I don't want you to go to the next level of life, because then you're going to want maybe a more just and fair and balanced relationship. And I like a relationship like this, where you look to me like I'm your God or Savior. You look to me and view me as a loving person, because I like to view myself as a loving person. But I only like to be in this type of relationship dynamic. You feel left out in the cold. You're a very loving but abundant giving person, but you don't appreciate that and what you bring to the table. Perfect. I want to get in a relationship with you. And then you keep not loving and believing in yourself and appreciating what you bring to the table. And then I get to indulge in a relationship with you and you're like codependent on me. You view me as loving. I view you as loving. You keep not loving and believing in yourself and knowing how valuable you are. The only problem is, and that can work for a long time in a relationship, and both people can be happy in it for a long time. But eventually, people who haven't learned to love and believe in themselves, and they are inspired to free themselves from the things that manipulate them, eventually do this work within themselves to heal their core foundation and get more balance within themselves. And that's when you can see a person's shadowy energy, because you're doing this inner work at the core foundational level of yourself to deal with the truth and heal, and that means you're changing. And if you're changing, that changes the whole dynamic. When one person in the dynamic changes, the whole dynamic changes, because you're not the same person you were before. And that's when someone's more shadowy nature can come out. They don't want you to keep healing and growing and maturing yourself. And that's when they can do some hurtful, unkind things to make you feel left back out in the cold again, to put you back in the energy you were in, like get back in your cage, get back in your pain and heartbreak, get back in not appreciating yourself and valuing yourself. It's kind of like trying to tear down your foundation of self. I don't want you to heal. I don't want you to free yourself from the things that manipulate you, because then the relationship would change. And then you're going to, we kind of have to, we either have to be equally out of balance, or we both have to be on the same page somewhere on the spectrum. And if you had been not believing in yourself and you start to heal, well, then it's a more like peer-to-peer equal give and take relationship. And some people are like, well, I don't like that, because I liked it when it was more out of balance. Or I like you to give and I take. I like to be the parent, you're like the child. I like to be the teacher, you be like the student. You look up and admire me. You hold me in this position of authority in your life. Do not listen to your own intuition and have your own hopes and dreams. You are supposed to make your life about me. Two people came together and it's all about more about them than you. You're not supposed to have your own hopes and dreams and aspirations. You're not supposed to cultivate your own talent, skills, and interests. You're not supposed to become more independent. I don't like people who are more independent. I like people who are more codependent. And that's when we see the truth that at a core foundational level, some people in our life really don't want us to grow and heal and mature ourselves and grow to our full potential. Some people right now are experiencing this. Some people are still in the phase of not seeing the truth. They're still in the happy phase. Which, if everybody is willing to do this work together and everybody's willing to deal with their own fears, insecurities, self-limiting beliefs instead of blaming their partner for them feeling that way, and each person does this work within themselves to love and believe in themselves, everybody appreciates the other people, loving and encouraging, then we can go from one phase of life to the next phase of life. We each have to face our fears and insecurities about going to that next phase of life in a relationship, where a relationship grows and matures itself. It becomes a more deep, meaningful relationship. You know, new levels of justice and fairness and acting with character and integrity. You know, and we respect that both people are individuals. And we can all have had friends and family members that do that with us. We can have long-term relationships with people who do that with us. But there can be some people in our life that won't be coming with us. The Tower can talk about letting go of some people where we've just seen the truth that we are motivated and inspired by different things, and how we view life, what we think is just and fair, how we want to live our life is different. And we deal with our own fears and insecurities about the fact that some of those people might not be in our life as much as they used to be. And we keep moving forward in truth and love, having hope and faith and belief that if we feel some people have some things that manipulate them or that they got tangled up in, that, you know, we got to let everybody learn lessons in life. And, you know, we've all learned some lessons the hard way. And people in our life who loved us had to watch us go live life and learn some hard lessons. We kind of all got to go through this. And you might know some people that haven't learned to love themselves. And they're still looking outside of themselves to other people or the world to love them or validate their worth and value, or looking to things in the world to be the answer to making them feel better. And they are caught up in the illusion and haven't realized that it starts within themselves, loving themselves. So we wish them peace, love, and joy, and we might keep our distance from them. And if we were thinking of dating them or marrying them or did marry them, you know, we get out and distance ourselves from that relationship, because something they find to be the answer to their life problems or something more than love. And for some people, it's like, I'm just not going to do love. I get hurt doing love. I would have to detach from my more worldly nature and making my life more about the world to move forward and choose my more loving, hopeful, believing nature. And that's just not how I've chosen to live my life. I do live my life more from my ego. I am aligned in my Taurus philosophy of life. High vibe people are aligned with their more high vibrational Taurus view of life. I think it's more about ego and image, or me, or indulgence, or I love being in love and I just only want to be in relationships with people where everything's happy and fine. I don't want to have to deal with troubles. I don't want to have to work through that shit. You know, if something seems to be a problem in a relationship, I leave, I go find another one. I just love love. To work through issues for the relationships to go to the next level? No, I'll just go find another relationship. You know, some people are like that. It's just to see the truth of it. Now, as some of you are moving forward, your own shadow nature tries to tempt you to let go of loving and believing in yourself, taking action in truth and love. Your shadow nature wants you to go indulge yourself in the world. But the thing is, you've already been there and done that. You already looked to those things probably in your life, or looking to relationships to be the answer to you feeling more stable and secure and loved. And you realize that if you get in relationships for those reasons, it's probably not going to turn out the way you want. So it's like, no, I am not listening to my shadow nature. And then there can be people that pop up in your life, people you have known, people you'll meet, that want to be the next person to indulge in a relationship or come back into a relationship with you. Maybe because what they went to go pursue made them feel left out in the cold and it didn't work out the way they want. And now they want to come back and indulge in a relationship with you, or there's someone who is like that just likes to indulge in relationships in a way. But they're not on the same page as you. And I think you'll just listen to your intuition from a place of peace and love, to talk to people, invest time, energy, and effort to get to know people, to find out what the truth is. But your own, I'm kind of like, I don't know how, kind of knowing your worth and value and standing up for yourself and what you believe in. Not anybody gets to come over here and be in a relationship with me. I can know lots of people and be friends with them. Am I going to date you? No. Am I going to get in a relationship with you or marry you? No. If this isn't your truth, and you have become more independent of your worldly egoic nature and more independent in the world, then we're not on the same page. But shadowy energy and shadowy people will try to stop you from manifesting that. High vibe energy represented by God, shadowy energy represented by the devil. At the big level of the world of duality, they battle. Life-giving energy, non-life-giving energy battles. It's within us and it's in other people. And it tries to stop people from giving birth to new things. There's people in the world who don't like people being more independent. If they're conforming to the world, you should conform to the world. If they live their life a certain way, you should live your life a certain way. If they move forward in whatever way of living life they want, they think you should live your life that way. And there's some people in the world that are going to try to tear you down. Maybe deceit, lie about you, slander you, throw you under the bus, kick you to the curb. All these things is like shadowy energy working through shadowy people to try to stop life-giving energy from manifesting what it wants to manifest. And we need to see the truth of it. And when people pop up in our life trying to tempt us, presenting themselves as loving family people, we listen to our intuition and knowing our worth and value. I'm not going to be tempted in my worldly nature. Yes, I might feel left out in the cold. I might not be moving forward with someone in a romantic relationship. Yes, I might not have all the money or the status or the image that I'd like in the world. But love is my core foundation, and that's what I'm going to align with. And I'm not willing to let that go to settle for an illusion. Something that's superficial and shallow. More about lust, greed, pride, ego. I'm going to speak the truth, take action in truth, know my worth and value and what I bring to the table. And unless someone has done that work within themselves to be in a relationship with me in that way, then I won't be in a relationship with them in that way. They'll just be someone I know. What's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Sagittarius energy that they might not see coming has to do with this card not showing itself in the Ten of Cups. The way I interpret that is, as you go through this process within yourself, or other people going through this process within themselves, dealing with the truth of how things within them manipulate them, and therefore people in their life play on that to manipulate them. Maybe trying, other loving people, other people are trying to use the love that they have for them to manipulate them and control them and keep them in certain jobs or friendships or relationships with them. And seeing the truth, these people don't want me to grow to my full potential. They don't want me to be more authentically myself and independent in the world. And as people go through this process, they will be happy because they're no longer aligning with this energy in a shadowy way. And they will have kind of detached themselves from some other people in the world that to some degree also harness this energy in a shadowy way. The Leo Strength card. So we all had lessons learned. We all align with our more worldly nature, feeling left out in the cold, wanting to be in relationships, getting in relationships. And then as we get in them and we see this isn't my truth. I thought this was the answer, but this isn't the answer. And I think that is this thing of learning to get clear about our truth, that it starts within me. I have to love me. And if I don't learn to love me and appreciate what I bring to the table, I'm going to get in relationships with people who are happy I don't. And I want to be in more just and fair and healed relationships. So I need to heal me. I need to offer love and compassion and forgiveness to my own worldly nature. Be like my own best mother, father, coach voice to myself. I need to get out of my ego and my fear and my insecurity and my more worldly nature. And when I do that, I detach from other people that might still be aligned with their more shadowy Leo energy than their more high vibrational Leo energy, which is about being more authentically yourself, getting out of your shadowy Leo energy of more ego way of life. And some people could see that you seem to have freed yourself and that you are very abundant and loving and knowing your worth and value at a core foundational level, and they can't figure out how you did it. Because they could be people who try to create this illusion that they're that, but you're the real deal, and they don't understand it. And the thing is because you're not operating from ego. You're not trying to create an illusion. You really have tempered your worldly beastly nature. Your worldly beastly nature is not dictating the decisions you make in life. You're more loving, nurturing, stable, grounded, self-aware, emotionally mature nature is running your life. And that's why even in the face of everything, even if there was people who tried to tear you down, people who did lie about you, people who did try to leave you out in the cold, people who could have left a relationship with you to try to go manipulate someone else for money or status or image or to get more indulged in some way. They probably thought that would make them happy and they're feeling left out in the cold, and then other people treated you in these unkind, unloving ways and you seem to be happy. How is that? You know, they thought for sure they had it all figured out. They thought for sure if they went and indulged in that stuff or got in that new relationship or had the money or the status or the image or the social clout, they'd be happy. And I think they're working together with people and feeling left out in the cold because they didn't see the truth that love is what makes it all worthwhile. Some people didn't appreciate what you brought to the table. And when they didn't appreciate what you brought to the table, took advantage of it, tried to manipulate you, tried to control you, acted in hurtful or unkind ways, that's kind of what was the catalyst that forced you to do this work within yourself, to love and believe in yourself and stand up for yourself and what you believe in. And they still thought, again, maybe being kind of full of themselves, that they could just manufacture those things with someone else, but they're not operating from a place of love. You were the one who brought the love and the creativity and the imagination and the joy and the peace. And now we could have someone who operates more from pride or ego or defensiveness or materialism or pride or ego, and they're trying to recreate that life with someone else, but they don't have that. They're not tapping into those resources that are within them, but they rejected those. And they're operating more from their worldly egoic nature. They're trying to create what you're creating. And they can't figure out why it doesn't work. Well, I seem to present myself being just like them. And it's like, no, you're going about it from the wrong intention going in. You're more about you and what you can get out of it than giving. Loving people give of themselves. Their cup of love flows over. They freely give of themselves because they've aligned with their loving, nurturing nature and believe love is the answer to healing. And other people didn't pick that, and they align with their more worldly nature. And it might be, look at me, look how I present myself, look what I wear, look what I own, look how charming I am, look how much money I have, look what I wear. And that's kind of what they kind of lead with, trying to present themselves as a loving person, but it's an illusion. They're really not loving. They use their emotions manipulatively to get people to be in a relationship and stay in a relationship instead of being authentic. What's coming up for the people who harness a more shadowy, worldly Sagittarius energy that they might not see coming up? We have the Nine of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, the King of Wands, the Chariot, the Three of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles because of the Seven of Swords. These shadowy people keep thinking with the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles in shadow. Again, you harness your earth sign energy differently. The high vibe people are operating from a foundation of love, and how they put work and effort into a relationship is different than people who are aligned with their more egoic worldly nature and how they put work and effort into a relationship. And the more worldly, shadowy people might think that people should want to be in a relationship with them because of these traits or characteristics or assets that they have. And they're being deceptive and manipulative. And they think that because they have these certain traits, characteristics, or assets, other than love, that they can move forward victoriously in relationships and get people to invest in them to make them look like a shining star in the world. And that could be the driving factor in their life. I want to look like a shining star in the world. I want to look like I have what other people have in the world. I want to look like I have what those people have in the world. I just don't want to plant seeds of love, but that's what I want to grow. I want to look like I have a harvest of love around me, but I'm not going to plant love. I'm just going to create the illusion of being loving. Well, I think they're going to learn some hard lessons in life. That if you don't plant good seeds, you don't grow a good harvest. But they keep thinking they can manipulate the system. It's like living more from your mind than your heart, not seeing the truth. And they could think, well, I'm doing what those people are doing. Because they could think everyone just creates an illusion, that everyone's trying to manipulate everybody else. But that's not the truth. Some people authentically are loving, giving, nurturing people. And it's like, what? Really? And they can't relate to it because that's just not how they view life. Their whole life could have been, life's about the world and ego and image and me. And the thing is, we want to accomplish this. This is the end goal. But it's all about living more from our mind than our heart, creating this illusion about how we are, who we are, creating the illusion we've grown and matured and learned lessons in life so that people will get in relationships so we look like we have love without really doing love. You know, it's just like living more from their mind than their heart. And that's probably how they're going to keep moving forward in life, having a lot of mental conflict about why it seems like they invest in these things that seem like it should be love, but something's wrong. I don't know. There's like something wrong. I feel like out in the cold. Because they're just not getting it. They're in denial of the truth. The end goal that they want is more important to them and drives them more than wanting to go on the life experience, on high vibe Sagittarius energy. Life is an adventure. And we have to be willing to detach from our more defensive, egoic, self-interest nature if we really want to work together with people in a cooperative, warm, loving, just, and fair relationship. And they think, can't I just act like I'm that type of person? Well, that can be like being in a relationship with someone and you're in a relationship with their cardboard cutout false persona, their ego nature. That is disconnected from their emotionally intuitive, loving nature. More like a computer than a living, functioning human being. Like artificial intelligence. Well, I want to do it this way because then I won't get hurt. Well, that's part of the adventure of life. And getting out of your ego and like, bring it on. Let's go on an adventure. And I think I can pick myself back up again. And maybe that's why some people don't do it. Maybe they don't believe they could pick themselves back up if they really were authentically themselves in the world and things didn't work out. So they stay in this protective, defensive mode. So they'll probably live their life like that. They'll probably have other people, yeah, that are going to invest in them because they present well in the world. And other people get in a relationship with them. If other loving people get in a relationship with them, the same scenario will play out again. And other people are like, there's something wrong here. My intuition is telling me I better leave. Because I don't think this person looks stable and grounded and creative and inspired. And we might have chemistry. We might have a good sexual connection. But I feel it's kind of more about the ego and the image and shadowy chariot energy. Like it looks like love, it talks like love, it quacks like love, but I don't really think it's love. And other people don't want to keep investing in it either. And for some of the people that right now have been doing that in a relationship, the people in their life are listening to their intuition and they're harnessing these energies in a high vibe way. They know their worth and value. They've been loving, nurturing, creative, inspired, trying to work together with people cooperatively to look at life from a higher perspective. And eventually, they just can't stay in denial of the truth anymore. If these people were motivated and inspired to detach from their more fake, superficial, manipulative, ego-driven way of living life to live life differently, they would. And I need to quit being in denial of the truth. And I need to leave. And I need to go find and communicate and invest in and take action towards other people in the world who are moving forward in love, who do operate from a foundation of looking at life from a higher perspective, who are on the same page as me. And if anybody comes towards some high vibe people, just like some of you coming towards some high vibe people, the high vibe people are kind of like, who goes there? Just not anybody comes over here. I need to find out the truth. I will communicate with you. I will invest time, energy, and effort into you to get to know you, to find out what is the truth of your foundation. I'm not letting somebody come back into my life being deceptive, manipulative, prideful, egotistical, immature, bossy, controlling, full of themselves. I've already been there and done that, and I've healed and recovered from that. And I'm not letting someone like that come in my life again. And that's why some of the people in the world who like to present themselves as loving people without having to really be authentic can feel left out in the cold from truly abundant, loving people, because some of them turn their back on being willing to speak the truth. When they were in relationships with people like that, they tried to manipulate and control them to get them to do what they wanted in the relationship. And now other people have experienced that, and it can get harder and harder for shadowy people like scam artists to find other people who are willing to be in a relationship with them, because other people have went through these life experiences too. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm not the naive, gullible person I was when I first went out in the world. I've been in relationships with people. I've come into contact with different people. I've seen how people can be deceptive and manipulative and prideful and egotistical and more about themselves than working cooperatively from love. And just like you're going to do that towards anybody who might come towards you, anybody you go towards. Some of you, when you got out of one situation and you could have approached someone else, that really could have disrupted some of their lives. If someone were to try to come back into your life, and some people are trying to come back into other people's lives, and it could really cause some disruption in their life, because it could really make them or you question, what is my truth? And it tempts you. Is the way I'm living my life, is that aligned with my truth? Or have I been moving forward with people who are trying to manipulate me and control me? Am I in a relationship where I'm trying to manipulate and control someone? So you could approach someone thinking they're more high vibrational than you realize, and they're not. And then it makes them do all this questioning within themselves. I met someone who's really high vibe and healed that I think I could have a long-term, emotionally fulfilling relationship with. Am I willing to invest the time, energy, and effort to work through my fears and insecurities about speaking my truth? That might require that I quit with the second chakra down to the first chakra. There might be some people in my life that I might have to move away from. Who are the people in my life who are trying to tempt me with things of the world, and in my lust and my greed and my pride and my ego and my more immature, indulgent nature? And who are the people who are challenging me to speak my truth and live my truth and be more independent in the world? What is my truth? And the whole thing is, it could have really thrown some people for a loop when people communicate with other people. High vibe people don't let what other people do. Initially, it causes a lot of disruption in your life in the storm warning in the Tower card. Even people moving forward in other relationships, like, look, I moved on, I went, look how victorious and successful, and maybe I'm getting married and all this stuff. Is that going to really throw your life off into the ditch? I hope so. And high vibe people are like, well, no, if I've already seen that that's the truth of you and how you operate, it doesn't really surprise me at all. I might be surprised that you keep moving forward with a deception, and I know you're a deceptive, manipulative, prideful, materialistic, or whatever person. The other person apparently hasn't seen the truth yet, but I'm sure they will. And I'm not going to let that stop me. My life, your life doesn't have anything to do with my life. And that could be what some people are realizing too. Aren't I controlling your life? Aren't I dictating your life and how you think and feel? No, I've detached from you because I already saw the truth that you're not a just and fair person, that you aren't the person you present yourself as. I used to think you were this loving, nurturing person, but I don't anymore. No longer in denial of the truth of people in the world, and some of those people see you working together with others, being very stable and abundant and loving and grounded within yourself. And it's like a tower moment for them, because they thought for sure if they did these hurtful or unkind or whatever things that would throw your life into negative energy, and you would live life like them, and you'd be defensive, and you'd wear a false mask, and you'd maybe go get in relationships more out of pride and ego and whatever, and you're not. And it's like, what the fuck? Why aren't they doing that? And it's like, because I have more life experience than you, and I don't want to throw my life off into the ditch. I want to love and believe in myself and know my worth and value, so I'm going to treat myself with love and compassion and forgiveness. And I think you shadowy people in the world have some hard lessons to learn. And I think if you think you can cheat the system, I think you're going to find out you were deceiving yourself. You might move forward in a relationship that by worldly standards can look very successful and victorious. But the people who might be willing to, I know you at least, if you know them well enough, I know you're not who you say you are. And eventually I think either the people you're in a relationship with, if they're more of a loving person, they're going to see through the illusion eventually too. And if you're in a relationship with someone who's like you, well, then that's a just and fair relationship. You're in a relationship with someone else who's willing to be in a relationship with you, more for ego and image and status or money, wearing a false mask, and you're both deceiving and manipulating each other. That's just and fair. It was unjust for them to try to manipulate someone who is being authentic and loving and hopeful and believing when they knew they weren't on that same page. And I think as you high vibe people are moving forward, shadowy people, your own shadowy nature will try to make you give up. But you're aligned with truth and love. And I think other people are going to see that. Other people are going to work through their own fears and insecurities to see the truth. And those people are going to want to be in long-term relationships with you because they know that you don't operate from your shadowy nature, and you will only be working with them if they are people who discipline and temper their more beastly nature to work together with you in the energy of like peace and love and joy. And I think the relationships that the people you do invest your time, energy, and effort into are people who treat you that way. So you have these authentic, loving relationships, and the other people are probably still investing in people where everybody's manipulating each other and creating an illusion about how wonderful their life is. And it's all like a facade. And it's all like superficial and shallow. You know, we can live our life whatever way we want. High vibe people choose authenticity and love, and other people play it safe so they don't get hurt by love. Maybe don't even care if the people they're in relationship with, if they love them or they love them. Really doesn't matter. Are you willing to move forward with me in a relationship? Because the most important thing to me is that I am in a relationship, that I look like I'm moving forward victoriously and successfully in love, and that by worldly standards it looks like I'm a shining star. Who wants to put on that show with me? Who wants to play a part in the play that I'm putting on for the world? You? Perfect. Okay, let's do it. You play your part, I'll play my part. Here's your script, here's my script. I'll act like this, you act like that. Okay, let's everybody pretend how happy and wonderful it is. And the other people are letting love and intuition guide them, going on an adventure. So there you go, Sagittarius energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.